All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on something that's literally all around us, but most of us never see. The process plant. These places, they're the giant, unseen engines of our modern world, and they power pretty much everything we do. Ready to see how? Let's get into it.
I mean, seriously, just take a second and look around. Think about the fuel in your car, the plastic case on your phone, even the medicine in your cabinet. Did you ever stop and really think, where does all this stuff actually come from? Well, the answer usually starts in a place that's completely hidden from view.
And that's the thing, right? This isn't just a list of commodities. This is the stuff of our lives. We're talking about the gasoline that gets you to work, the plastics that are in, well, everything, and even the fertilizers that help grow the food on your plate. It all starts out as some kind of raw material, just waiting to be transformed.
Okay, so what is a process plant really? Let's kick things off by breaking down exactly what these places do, how they take basic raw materials and turn them into the essentials we can't live without.
At its core, it's pretty simple. A process plant is a huge industrial facility that uses all sorts of physical and chemical reactions to turn raw materials into something way more useful and valuable. It's basically like a giant high-tech kitchen where the ingredients are crude oil or natural gas, and the final dish is, well, everything else.
And you know what's wild? No matter what they're making, pretty much every single plant follows the same basic recipe. It all starts with the raw materials, which in the biz they call feed. That feed gets pumped into the heart of the plant where it goes through a crazy maze of pipes, vessels, and reactors. It gets heated up, cooled down, mixed, and reacted until finally you get your finished product. The idea is simple, but making it happen, whoa, that's where the complexity comes in.
So you can basically group these plants into three big buckets. First, you've got your petrochemical plants. They're the ones churning out plastics and rubber. Then there's oil and gas, which is all about fuels. And finally, you have chemical plants, making everything from industrial acids to life-saving medicines. Totally different products, right? But the way they work is surprisingly similar.
All right, now that we've got the what, let's move on to the where. We're going to take a little tour of a modern plant. Think of it like getting the layout of a city. Once you understand the different neighborhoods, you can see how the whole thing works together like one giant, well-oiled machine.
But first, a little bit of context is super helpful. The whole energy industry is split into three parts. Upstream is all about finding and drilling for the raw stuff. Midstream is the logistics part, transporting it all. But where we're focused today is downstream. This is where the magic happens, in the refineries and processing plants. It's where most of the operators work.
Okay, our tour starts right in the middle of everything, the process area. You got to think of this as the absolute heart of the plant. This is where you see all the giant equipment, the towers, the reactors, the vessels. This is where the actual chemistry is happening. It's the main event.
Of course, a heart can't beat on its own, right? It needs a support system, and that's the utility area. If the process area is the heart, then the utility area is the lungs and the bloodstream. It's supplying all the crucial stuff needed to keep things going: power, steam, water, compressed air. You take this away, and the entire plant just stops.
All right, next stop on our tour is the tank farm. This one's easy to picture. It's basically the plant's giant warehouse. You've got these massive tanks holding all the raw materials before they go in, and then more tanks holding all the finished products before they get shipped out. It's all about storage.
And that brings us to the most critical part, the brain, the control room. This is the nerve center for the whole operation. Inside, operators are watching screens that show every single temperature, pressure, and flow rate across the entire facility. They're like the conductors of a huge orchestra, making tiny adjustments to keep everything perfectly in tune.
So let's recap our tour real quick. You've got the process area. That's the heart. The utility area is the life support system. The tank farm is the warehouse. And the control room? That's the brain. 4 different parts, but they all have to work together perfectly as one single unit.
Okay, but here's the thing. A plant isn't just a collection of pipes and steel. It's the people who make it run. We're talking about a super skilled team working around the clock 24/7. So let's talk about them, the team on the ground that keeps this whole thing going.
So the operations team basically breaks down into 2 key roles. First, you've got your field operator. These are the folks who are literally out in the plant. They're the hands, eyes, and ears on the actual equipment. Then you've got the panel operator. They're inside the control room, the brain, watching all the data on the screens and making adjustments from there.
And these 2 roles have to be in perfect sync. They are absolutely not working in isolation. The panel operator might spot a weird number on a screen and radio the field operator to go check it out.
Or the field operator might hear a funny sound from a pump and report it back to the control room. And the one thing that connects them all? Communication. Constant, critical communication. It is the absolute glue that holds the whole thing together and keeps it safe.
Which brings us to our last section. And honestly, it's the most important one. See, being a process operator, it's more than just a job. It's not just about hitting production targets. It's about a core mission. A massive responsibility that shapes every single decision they make every single day.
So what is that mission? Think about it. An operator is juggling a million things at once. Production goals, quality checks, environmental rules, the list just goes on and on. But out of all of that, there is one thing. One single priority that trumps everything else. Always.
And this is it. It's the #1 rule, the core philosophy. A good operator always thinks safety first. That's not just some cheesy poster on a wall. It is the absolute foundation of the entire industry. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is more important.
And that safety-first mindset, it drives absolutely everything else. It means your job is to keep people safe, keep the plant safe, make a quality product, and keep the whole operation reliable. And how do you do all that? By following procedures, to the letter. In this line of work, procedures aren't just suggestions. They're the playbook for how to do things right and, most importantly, how to do them safely.
So, that really leaves us with one final thought. It's a huge responsibility, right? It takes skill, incredible discipline, and an unwavering commitment to doing things the safe way every single time. After seeing how all these pieces fit together, from the equipment to the people, the big question is, could you be the one to keep our world running safely?